Karl Strange, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Tal.
Yeah.
It's great to be on the podcast.
So I just want to introduce you to my audience. And by introduce you, I mean I want you to introduce yourself.
I mean, I can do that. I'm Karl Strange. I do strange things. I play strange music, and I have strange thoughts.
So do you want to start with the strange things, the strange music, or the strange thoughts?
I mean, probably start from the end and not from the beginning.
I like
the
that.
end is that I passed away. I went to the astral plane, and me and Lou Reed are jamming.
Okay. So that was the end?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of where you want to end up, or you've already been there, you've already seen it?
It's already happened, and this is all just a figment.
I see. Okay, so everything leading up to that is it consequential or is it non-consequential?
Sort of reverse consequential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reverse consequential. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the good thing about it is that nobody knows what they mean. So I'm just fitting in as best I can.
right.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the strange music?
I've been doing the strange music for a long time.
Got it. And do you have any influences? Are you inspired by anyone specific?
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I was inspired by Mozart. I'm not saying I'm not. Not saying I was inspired by The Clash, but I was. Not saying I was inspired by New Order, The Cars, Billy Joel, the harder side of Lennon McCartney.
We talking like White Album? Talking like Helter Skelter?
White Album, Abbey Road, Rubber Soul.
Okay. Rubber Soul? That's my favorite Beatles record. And I'll die on that hill. I think it's the best one. Even though you got Sgt. Pepper has the production, you know, I think that Rubber Soul has the cleanest songwriting.
Rubber Soul does have some amazing songwriting. The harder side of Lennon McCartney with all the guitars, trading off solos with John, Paul, and George at the end of the song called The End on Abbey Road. That's my jam, and I Want You, the song that is on Abbey Road. All that rockin' stuff.
So, in terms of your body of work, from what I understand, your band's been around since 2015.
It's true. I'm not saying we went on a 6-year hiatus. I'm not saying we didn't.
You went on a 6-year hiatus. Allegedly.
Life got in the way, so couldn't play when life's in the way.
I have a question for you, Karl. Do you hope that the worst person that you know goes to heaven?
Well, I mean, I hope there's a heaven. Of the people that I know, yes, I would want them all to go there.
What about the people that you know of?
You caught me off guard with that one.
Thank you.
People that I know of, who am I to judge? I don't know all their secrets, they don't know all mine. But I didn't murder anybody.
That's good.
Did Jimmy Kimmel get fired?
From what I hear, his show was indefinitely suspended. It was put on hiatus.
Same thing happened to us.
Same thing happened to the Lovestrange.
Yeah, except it wasn't the same thing. It was just identical. I mean, when we got that call from the FCC, they told us to shut down.
What are you going to do at that point?
It was all about that one song.
You put out your debut record in 2015. Was it self-titled?
Nope.
No, it was not.
I liked it. No, I didn't.
Therein lies the question. When you put out that record, did you like it or did you not like it?
I mean, we have to listen to it first.
Should we cut to commercial, listen to a song? Boom.
Look past your steeples. If one soul feels controlled, let that soul unload.
Okay, we're back. That was Hey Now People by the Lovestrange.
I'm not saying that's the first time I heard that song, but I'm not saying it wasn't.
Interesting. So, sounds like there's some religious themes going on in there. Maybe I hear like steeples, talking about churches, talking about children.
I mean, every time you drive by Brokeback Mountain, there's a steeple on top.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Every time I've driven by there, that's been the case. Let's talk about your producer, Nate Pfeiffer. He's produced most of your stuff. What's his deal?
Nate Piper is a very devout contrarian, and that's why I love Nate Piper. If he were not a contrarian, then I would fire him.
So would you say that you're hiring Nate for his ability to flip things on their head musically?
We hired him to touch our music. Gotta let someone touch your music.
Okay.
If you don't let someone touch your music, then it just is gonna sound, if you don't let someone else bring their contrary perspective. I mean, I walk up to Nate and I say, here's this song, and here's what I have in mind. He's like, cool. And then he produces it and he sends it to me and he goes, what do you think? And it's the opposite of what I said.
In order to record untouchable music, you have to let someone touch it first. So there's kind of a paradox there. I'm picking up on what you're putting down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't jolting to get your song back and have it produced in a way that was kind of the opposite of what you said to do.
Right.
And then you realize, oh, if you don't let someone touch your music won't go anywhere.
Interesting. So they're kind of giving it a little love tap, pushing it in the right direction.
A contrarian love tap.
So what, you record this album in 2015 with Nate Piper, and then you guys went on a 6-year hiatus. And then what brought you back to the band? I mean, you kind of you're the face of the band. I've seen a lot of the imagery with your mug on it, as it should. But what brought you back to the stage?
Only after we're dead will we know what songs were the most important ones. To which I would say there's a deep cut by a band called Sego.
Shout out to Sego.
Called Anvil Hands. Anvil Hands.
As in Maxwell Silverhammer, Bang Bang Anvil?
Yeah, the anvil part. But the song, Anvil Hands, being a deep cut, and, it's not one of their hits. But my theory is that after we're dead, we'll find out that song is one of the very important ones. So coming back from hiatus, we wanted to do music that was important, and it wasn't just about, oh man, and someone was in love and then they weren't, but they really still were. We wanted to do some music that was thought-provoking, and so we had some things to say that we thought were about things that were extremely meaningful. So we put out Here Comes the Mail in 2023 when we did our comeback.
Got it. And on Here Comes the Mail, I'm picking up on some political, not even overtones. I mean, the song is pretty explicitly political, right? So I want to talk right now, I want to talk about Ted Kaczynski, and I want to talk about the national deficit, and I want to hear your thoughts on both of those subjects. No particular order, you can pick which one.
I can see how it relates, because, everything relates to everything.
Right. Everything that ever was.
Everything that ever was relates to everything that now is.
So where did your passion about the national deficit, national being America, that's where we are right now, where did that come from? Walk us through that.
Well, it came from when I was 16 and I was scared because the national debt, to distinguish, we're actually talking about the national debt, not the trade deficit.
Okay. Sorry, I'll edit that together so that I sound smarter than I am.
I mean, you can ask me about the national debt and Ted Kaczynski, or I can just proceed, whichever you prefer.
I think you should just proceed.
Because my thought that I had when I was 16, that was in 1982, and we were all scared that the national debt was going to exceed $1 trillion. It kept me up at night because I thought, well, the national debt gets too high and inflation gets too high, I won't be able to afford a house, I won't be able to have a family. And so
Did you guys see that? He almost dropped his mic and he expertly caught it before it hit the water. That was amazing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I wanted to point out what just happened. That will not be edited out.
No, it's really simple. I was scared as heck. I was scared. And then in 1982, the national debt did exceed $1 trillion. And the single family dwelling is kind of an important part of west of the Mississippi, especially. And whether you are in a condo or a home, you ultimately or eventually want to try to have ownership, try to build up some equity and have a future. And I thought that if the national debt exceeded $1 trillion, and where's it going to stop? And I was 16, worried about that. So that's where it started. And then by 2023, the national debt had become $33 trillion, 40 years later. And I'm outraged by it, and that's where the song "Here Comes the Mail" came from.
If I'm reading into the lyrics of "Here Comes the Mail" in the right way, you're saying that the Trump-Biden war that Trump eventually won is a downstream effect of reckless spending by previous government officials? Is that what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. That's just kind of a footnote. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party have been debt spending this country toward economic malaise and near bankruptcy for 40 years. Trump and Biden were just the latest embodiments of how that can happen, and the Congresses that accompanied the president. There were 3 years of a balanced budget under the Clinton administration with a Republican-controlled Congress and a Democratic-controlled White House, and those were the three most beautiful, important years ever in my life from my point of view. But so Here Comes the Mail highlights the problem, but Here Comes the Mail doesn't contain a solution. But I have the solution. We could reveal that here.
Let's do that. I want to hear the solution.
We could maybe just conceal the solution like the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have both been doing for 40 years. We could just conceal the solution, make sure we distract away from it, not talk about it, or we could actually reveal the solution.
I'd love to hear the solution.
Do you want me to tell you the solution right here on camera?
Yes, right here, sitting in the ocean.
The solution to the national debt is Iggy Pop.
Got it.
It's either that or we need a cap on federal spending tied to gross domestic product. And if we had a cap on federal spending tied to some percentage of the gross domestic product, Congress could pass any spending bill it wants. As long as that cap on federal spending is not exceeded, everyone in Congress lose their job if that happens. And that would keep the national debt from becoming a problem anymore. Solution.
So what does Iggy have to do with this?
He tells it like it is. That's what we need to do to Congress, is tell it like it is. And so that's a peripheral relation.
I see. I hear that you're about to release a cover of one of Iggy Pop's songs that he did with the Teddy Bears called Punk Rocker.
That's correct.
Is that in any way related to the cap on federal spending, or is that just kind of a happy coincidence?
I can answer that after the next commercial.
Okay. And we're back. That was quite the guitar solo in that song, wouldn't you say?
The guitar solo to end all guitar solos. In fact, that guitar solo, I feel superlatives about that guitar solo. Make music because we feel compelled to do it. You got something inside you feel compelled to do. If you feel compelled to try to save the snail darter and you are an environmentalist, you're going to do things to try to find ways to help save the snail darter. Or if you feel compelled to feed soup to the homeless, you're going to do things to try to help a soup kitchen provide and feed soup to the homeless, which is something we all ought to do occasionally. And if you feel emotion and you feel introspection, you feel passionate about something that outs itself with melodies and chords, then you're going to make music. And you don't call yourself to be famous, you don't call yourself to be successful, but if you feel something passionate inside you, you express that, and if some people like it, so be it. If nobody likes it, so be it. But at least you expressed yourself authentically. At least you expressed yourself, in my case, not transparently, but authentically. And if that's what you feel, then you do it.
So is your lack of transparency kind of an avenue to authenticity for you?
Yes. Because you don't tell everyone everything. You just tell them the part that's relevant about your passion for what you want to share.
Right. So you're saying you're showing them what you want them to see.
Show them what I'm passionate about disclosing and presenting. Well, some things are none of our business. So artists that I admire that are very authentic, David Bowie, but he didn't tell us everything, and he didn't need to.
Rest in peace, David Bowie. What inspires you about him?
He plays guitar and plays saxophone, and he's androgynous in some ways, and early in his early days, and I couldn't look away. I thought it was compelling.
I like that. So what do you hope that people get from your music? You're out there recording, playing shows. Say I show up to a Lovestrange show for the first time. I know nothing about you. What do you hope that people get from your music?
I don't know. The songs are open to interpretation. I hope they get something. I hope they feel something. I hope the songs say something to them. You can be inspired by a song, and it can mean something completely different than what the songwriter was thinking. When I heard the song Julia by John Lennon, I took something away from it. It had nothing to do with what he meant by the song. We aspire to put out songs that are open to interpretation. If someone feels something, then they take something away from that song, whatever they choose, whatever they think it means.
Got it.
People can ask me, well, what did you take from that song? And I can say, well, okay, and then I can tell them that, but that's just what I took from it. Might be different from what someone else takes from it. And that's not unique. That's just what the best songwriters are like, I feel, and that's what we aspire to be like. So
let's take a break and listen to Twisted Lullaby, or at least a little snippet of it by the Lovestrange, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So where'd that song come from, Karl? Twisted Lullaby.
that song is kind of backward in how I was at the time introverted, pathologically shy. I imagined a girl singing that song to me. That's how I wrote it, was you killed yourself with reservation, not literally killed yourself, but you ended all your social opportunities by being too reserved. Killed yourself with reservation, killed yourself by never saying more, killed yourself with trepidation. So that's how I self-perceived at the time. But as I wrote the song for me to sing, so it became about a girl who's painfully shy, but it originated about me being that way.
So how do you go from being pathologically shy to fronting a rock and roll band?
Oh, nothing really changes.
Got it. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's intense. I love it. Would you say that the Lovestrange is a spiritual band?
I don't know, man. I think that the guys in my band think deep thoughts. People that I make music with think deep thoughts. Our producer thinks deep thoughts. But we don't have anything to impose on anyone with. We like to inspire people, let them interpret the songs. One thing that we promote as an idea is that love is strange. And the reason love is strange is because love means accepting people different from you. Does that make us a spiritual band? I don't know. I mean, if someone wants to take from us that we're a spiritual band, we're okay with that. If they want to take from us that we're a secular band with principles or lack of principle, do believe that love is strange because it means accepting people different from you. I mean, opposites loving each other, embracing each other. It's not necessarily spiritual or not spiritual.
Do you think love is spiritual?
It can be. A lot of us were certainly raised to believe that. I don't know, I'd say it's universal.
Okay. So it's a universalist band.
I don't know, man. It's just the band with ideas that hopefully inspire people.
It inspires me, if that means anything.
Thanks, man.
So let's talk about velour. How has velour inspired you to continue with the Lovestrange?
Velour inspired me because I couldn't get a gig at velour. You got to be good to play velour. I mean, I was in a band and we tried everything and found out where Corey Fox went to get pizza and had our bass player give him a packet, and we couldn't get a gig.
Where does Corey Fox go to get pizza?
It's not there anymore, but years ago there was a place called, I think it was called Nick Italia Pizza.
Okay. So you stalked a venue owner and you showed up and gave him a demo, and that's how you got your gig?
No, that's how we didn't get our gig.
Okay, got it. So was it the music quality or was it the stalking that deterred Corey from booking y'all?
I don't know. I think he thought the branding, it was a band I was in before I was in the Lovestrange. He thought the branding was trite and cheesy.
Got it. Okay.
He was probably right.
Corey Fox, he's a stylish man. So are you. I'm working on it. But how has playing at velour changed the band? Has it changed the band? Has it affected the band?
I mean, by the time we were in the Lovestrange, we were lucky. Our first show was at velour, and it was also our album release. It was pretty unusual. We hadn't played a gig. We had an album release. There was some media there to cover it. Our producer hoped that we didn't suck on stage. And so we had the pressure of having to sink or swim, doing our album release and doing our first show. If our show had sucked, then that wouldn't be a very good promotion of the album.
And did it suck?
I'm a pretty harsh critic, so I probably shouldn't say what I thought about it.
Okay. But you can if you want. It's an open forum, you know.
I'm mum on what I thought of our first show.
How do you feel about that? We're going to pivot. How do you feel about the Cars, the band The Cars?
I think the Cars, in some ways, are the best band that ever lived. There are things that bands that I love, like the Beatles, couldn't do that the Cars did do. I think the Cars are amazing.
So what do you think the Beatles couldn't do that the Cars could do, huh?
The Beatles could do almost anything.
Because it is in Paul McCartney's name.
Nice.
So what couldn't the Beatles do? This is very fascinating to me. This is a hot take. Because I love the Cars, but I love the Beatles probably more, definitely more. Rick Ocasek, rest in peace, was a songwriting genius, produced the Blue Album by Weezer.
What Paul McCartney couldn't do, I mean, he's still a human being. The Cars played this new wave, post-new wave rock music, and they had Benjamin Orr's voice and Benjamin Orr's looks. If you hear those songs, you'd say, well, nobody could do those songs, not even the Beatles. You having a good day at the beach?
We are. You guys?
We are.
Absolutely. Yes, we are.
Doing a podcast.
You guessed
and
it.
Taking a bath.
Okay, so we've established that you think the Cars are better than the Beatles.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Didn't say that.
Okay.
The Cars did some things that even the Beatles couldn't do. Even Billy Joel couldn't do. Even New Order couldn't do. Even The Clash couldn't do. Even David Bowie couldn't do. They couldn't sound like Benjamin Orr.
It's true. Okay. Now that we clarified that, what can the Lovestrange do that no one else can do?
I don't know, man. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I don't know. We can philosophize in ways that will influence dozens.
There are dozens of us. I like that.
You don't decide who you are. You find out who you are. I mean, seriously. When you're 23, you're old enough to get married, right?
Yeah.
When you're 23, you're old enough to graduate from college. You graduate from college, you're supposed to be smart, supposed to be able to do all these things, but I found out in life that when you're 23, you have no idea who you are. And you don't decide who you are. You find out.
When did you find out?
It took me so long to find out.
But I found out.
I'm not saying I was 57 years old when I found out, but I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't.
Got it. So, whether you did or didn't find out who you were at 57, what was it that you either did or didn't find out?
Nice try. The Lovestrange, we don't tell you who we are. We just want you to come and you can decide for yourselves.
Well, to end this podcast episode, Karl, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you getting your feet wet, both metaphorically and literally.
That's me who's in my band.
And I just want to give you kind of an open forum. What do you want to promote? Who do you want to promote to close this thing out?
I mean, I'd like to say thanks to Chad Reynolds. He plays bass in the Lovestrange.
Thanks, Chad. Love you, Chad.
Thanks to Russell Carroll. He plays drums in the Lovestrange.
Thanks, Russell. Love you, Russell.
Thanks to all my guitar players. We have a guitar rotation at lead guitar. That includes Devin Powell.
Thanks, Devin. Love you, Devin.
TJ Knockleby.
Thanks, TJ. I don't know you, but I think I love you.
Kelsey Everson.
Kelsey, love you. You're awesome.
And the one and only Tal Haslam.
That's me.
We got a guitar rotation.
It's true.
And Matt Blunt was the original drummer and co-founder. Without Matt Blunt, there wouldn't be the Lovestrange.
Thanks, Matt.
We had Cole Maxwell on drums for a while too.
Thanks, Cole. Anyone else you want to promote? Any upcoming exciting announcements?
Lovestrange is opening for Noble Bodies on October 3rd, or opened for them on October 3rd, depending on when this airs.
Got it.
Lane Bradley, or co-fronts the band.
Did it smooth. Well, Karl, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you, Tal.